Hello, y'all. It's 11:26 a.m. in the morning. Well, I didn't get to fall asleep, excuse me, until after 4 o'clock. And then I just woke up at about 11:03. So, in the middle of the night and last night, they were vibrating me like crazy. They were vibrating me like crazy. And then, and then they, they, like when I went to sleep, when I went to sleep, um, I had this dream manipulation. I think it was with two different dreams, or was it the same one dream, one big dream? So I don't know. It's like one dream I had. I was I don't know what city and state I was at, but it was in an area or a place that I don't recall being in real life ever. But I was at this homeless on the streets with my sleeping bag at this park, on the streets, sleeping outside, at this park. And it looked like as if it was evening time and just before dusk. It wasn't like it looked like it was still daylight in the dream, but you can tell that it kind of was like within maybe 30 minutes or so that was going to start getting a little dark. So they had this black woman. She looked like she was about my age, 39 or 40. And you know how people in the hood or ghetto people or even other homeless people walk around with those, I guess, Bluetooth speakers that are wireless, and they have these loudspeakers that they walk around, and they can be from big to small. And I think when I went to go pick up my mail a couple of weeks ago, they had, well, almost 2 weeks ago, when I went to pick up my mail, they had when I went to pick up my mail, they had one of the homeless perps was walking around. And one of the videos that I had and so I mean I had that on video footage too. Excuse me, on one of the videos when I think I was walking to or from that place to go get my mail. So then after that, I I mean in the dream, yeah, it was a black female had like a tiny speaker that blasted super de duper loud music. So in the dream, I was homeless on the streets, laying down with the sleeping bag, and I was just on the verge of drifting off to sleep. And it was late, kind of in the evening, and before dark. The sun had gone down, but it wasn't quite. It's like as if it was almost starting to get dark, more on the lighter side, like just barely starting to get dark. So then in the dream, she had walked near me and placed her speaker on the ground, because I was like I was like in the grass right next to this gate, like to right, I guess, when the in the opening and entrance with the fence or whatever. I was like right next to this fence, not gate, but fence. And so she walked inside the fence entrance, and then she put her that loudspeaker right next to me, right, blasting music all in my ears, and then she put that speaker next to me, and then walked off. And she was wearing like red from head to ankle, like a all red outfit, and then she had blue shoes. And then I woke up, and they had this the red car that supposedly dropped a dude that supposedly dropped her off, and the guy had one brake light, a red car with one brake light. And I'm like, oh, this is some like blatant heavy perping. Like, let me get my phone. And I was trying to hurry up and trying to get the car. And I got my phone, and they delayed my phone. And like, this seemed like it was in a dream, but it seemed like as if it was real life. And so I had scrambled around to get my phone, and then they paused and like as if they delayed my phone camera. And then afterwards, the guy drove off, so I couldn't catch him on film in a dream. And then afterwards, the female walked back, and they still like I started filming and recording her, and then she started pacing back and forth like as if she was proud to be filmed and recorded. Like she was pacing back and forth in the presence of the camera, side to sway, walking and swaying side to side, like as if she was enjoyed being liked being on film, or proud to perp and proud to be, filming and recording. Oh wow, what a bitch. I hear the fake next door neighbor's TV. So then I don't know if that's the same dream that changed scenery, or if I woke up and then went back to sleep and there was another different dream. But if it was another dream, it started off where I guess I was living with somebody. I had a place to live. And like I had a place to live, and excuse me. And then I had it seemed like as if it was nice, normal, and it also seemed like it was later in the evening before dark. And I was all excited that, yay, no more snow or anything like that, And so then 5 minutes later, I walked outside, and the area looked like it was heavily snowing, and had piles and piles of snow like within 5 minutes. I'm like, how did this happen so quick? And it was heavy, thick, lots and lots of snow. And then it turned out to be some kind of way the next morning at around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and then the sky kind of looked like it wanted to rain, but the snow was over, but they still had like a lot of leftover snow in the dream. Excuse me. So then in the dream I had the snow, I guess, must have melted, and I don't know if I was homeless or not. And I don't know if it was a third or fourth dream, but it was like different scenes. And so I went to this park, and they had these people. I mean, it's a different park in a different scene in a dream. And they had these black people, and I think they had this little boy serving food. And these people were taking food and stuff like that too. And so um somebody had told me, um you know, oh yeah, it's the Freemasons feeding everybody or whatever. And I wrestled with my conscience in a dream, and I'm wondering, well, in a dream, I must have been homeless in that part of the dream, because I had no food, no money for food, and no food to eat at all. And I was crazy hungry in the dream. I had no money for food and no food to eat at all, and they were serving food. So it's like, oh man, I hope I don't end up getting cursed or anything. And so, I mean, and then they had this Masonic group that showed up and made it. You know how for holidays, the Masonic groups love to go to your churches for Thanksgiving and all that. But it wasn't Thanksgiving. I think it was like a portrayal of over the summer with and it also looked like as if it was getting dark. So I'm like, they were all wearing, the blatant Masonic hats and everything like that, Masonic symbolism. And it's like, I felt bad that in the dream, I I ate their food. And it's like, nowadays, what I know, I feel like, well, I wouldn't want to, if I know that they're Freemason, that I shouldn't want to, wouldn't want to eat with the, eat their food. Because, I mean, they had a few Masonic organizations in Los Angeles that, for Thanksgiving or Christmas holidays, they'll come to your Kajik or Kojic or Kajik, Church of God in Christ, Baptist churches, and serve and feed and give clothes and stuff. But come to find out, that's their fake philanthropy to manipulate people into thinking, I guess they're giving people cursed food during the holidays. But some people say, well, eat it anyway and just pray over it and whatever. God will take that curse away if you pray over it. And they said the enemy can't triumph over us or whatever. Just eat your food but pray over it first. But I mean, I never went home sick or whatever. But I'm wondering what should be the best thing to do. Should I just avoid eating their food, period, or should I just eat the food, pray over the food first, and then eat it? But yeah, at a few different churches that I went to in Los Angeles in real life, they had. I mean, one time I went to this church and they had this Order of the Eastern Star organization, and the women were wearing t-shirts with the upside down pentagram, the upside down star, the pentagram. They were wearing pentagram t-shirts, and people who profess to be Wiccans or quote unquote white witches, they had that same symbolism. And one of the ladies, she was a big, dark, like overweight, dark skinned, short lady from New Orleans, and she was nice and normal. Then she flipped and got an attitude and treated me like I was annoying or getting on her nerves or something. And then I remember they had this, I think the Order of the Eastern Star or Freemasons. No, I think it was the Order of the Eastern Star, serving food in real life, at the fake Salvation Army shelter in Greenville, South Carolina. So I don't even know if I was supposed to eat that or starve for the night. And I didn't have, I mean, shucks, my money paid for the shelter and food and everything. So I felt like, I mean, for the whole month, but it's like, yeah, that one day, they had the fake Order of the Eastern Star pretend to fake volunteer, to serve us food for dinner one time. because I guess certain organizations will volunteer to feed us. And at the fake Salvation Army in Greenville, South Carolina, that was my first time as an adult to eat cheesecake. And it was my first, because I had cheesecake once when I was a child. The foster sister April let us have, a slice of cheesecake. Hold on. But April let us have a slice of cheesecake. And I think she made homemade cheesecake with cheesecake. Homemade cheesecake with cream cheese. Excuse me. So then, like, when I was 7 years old, the foster mom used to not allow us to drink Coke. And during family holidays, the foster family, they only allowed us to drink those Winn-Dixie check drinks or knee-high drinks or whatever cheap generic brand of soda, while they drink all the Coke, Sprite, root beer, Dr. Pepper, and everything like that. Like, they treated us like less than. And they used to have certain desserts that they said was only for the adults, and certain desserts that were for children. So when I grew up and became an adult, I stayed away from cheesecake. I only had cheesecake once in my life as a child, and then it wasn't until 2016 that I finally had cheesecake for the first time as an adult. But I think I remember when I was 7 years old, I had cheesecake and I didn't like it. But oh man, I feel like, what have I been missing for all these freaking years? Like, so, like, cheesecake, it turned out to be one of my favorites. Oh man, if cheesecake is supposed to be that high in calories and fat, then I probably would have died of a heart attack being on those psych medications. And the way I was eating regular birthday cake, it wouldn't even be my birthday, and I would be on those psych medications and eat like a half a sheet of cake, not in one setting, but over a few days, and just eat lots and lots of cake, being on those psychiatric medications, or eating loads and loads of ice cream. The side effects of psychiatric medication make you eat like a pig. But I don't eat that dangerously anymore. Now that I'm not on those medications. But off and on, I might have my moments where, if I'm so depressed and overeating and stuff like that, or full of anxiety. So then, back to the dream. I don't know if it was another dream or another scene where I was talking to this lady, and then and then it transformed. Me and her were talking about Darius in the dream, and then next me, I was talking to him in a dream. I never met Darius in real life in person, just only talk over the phone and over social media and email, but I never talked to him over the phone. I meant to say I never met him in person, but the main communication we had was talking over the phone, and it was nothing sexual between us. I never sexually desired him or nothing. But he was in a doggone dream, and it's like, I hate when I'm on bad terms with people, or not on speaking terms with people in real life. Like, it happens a lot with my twin sister. If me and my twin sister aren't on speaking terms, we end up getting along very well in a dream. But if me and my twin sister get along and on good terms in person, which is very rare, we end up arguing and fighting in a dream. But in a dream, Darius had some job where he was driving, like he was driving around in what was portrayed as an Amazon driver. And then he made it like as if he was working two jobs and working for both Amazon Flex and FedEx. And it's like, well, why? I can't even get these kinds of jobs. I mean, so then in a dream, he was, I guess fake nice in a dream. And then he had this lady with him. She was like an orange complexion and had her hair shorter than mine, like way short. And she seemed a little masculine, but she was asking me nosy questions in a dream. And it's like I'm sitting here scratching my head. In a dream, a lot of times you be thinking it's real life, but but Darius had plans to meet up with me, you know, for targeting reasons, in real life, but never, you know, never did, but then now definitely not because of what happened. But in a dream, the lady had her own van. She must have been his coworker, and it's like they both had like these dark gray minivans that were unlabeled. But he wasn't driving around in an Amazon Flex big van. It was like a small Dodge Caravan or something. And the lady's, hers looked kind of brand new. But she left the door open and got out of the van for whatever reason and walked up to me and started asking me a whole bunch of nosy questions. And then Darius had offered me a ride. Like she got out of the passenger side and then got into the driver's side of her car. I mean, she got out of the passenger side of Darius' van or whatever. And I'm sitting here wondering, well, he's a doggone hypocrite because how he got a job driving or how is he driving? But, in real life, he told me basically he tried to make it like as if God didn't want me driving or with the car, but it's him. You didn't want me driving or with the car. And so, if I'm sensitive to that, why would you use the driving thing as a weapon against me? Or, oh, you secretly think behind my back that you think I'm not mentally capable, or you think you got the same opinion about me as the perps and everything. And you got a lot of dirty secret feelings about me. And so, he was an abusive, narcissistic, fake TI perp that used a lot of gaslighting and projection, and the so-called friendship was just fake. We connected as so-called friends due to this targeting thing. But then he was driving me around, I'm going to say fraudulently and illegally driving me around. And then he, and then in the car, in the van, we passed by another red car with one brake light or one tail light or whatever that was parked on the side of the road that looked like it was at some mechanic shop or auto body shop or something. And then next thing you know, the dream was over. And I woke up in real life and I'm like, well, I'm surprised. I'm like, let me hurry up and tell the story of this dream before I forget it. And this is the most vivid and strongest dream that I had in a while, enough that I can still remember and recall and recall and tell just about every detail that happened. So I got up in real life at 11:03 a.m. this morning and had to use the bathroom, and then I checked all my social media in case so that if I can have something report on any online harassment or whatever. So Now, Darius tried to make me look crazy by lying and saying that if all somebody got to do is tell me something I don't like or tell me something that hurts my feelings, and I just straight up block them. And that's not true. Sometimes it depends on the severity of it. But so I've been being ever since he said that, I've been forced to tolerate and take a lot of shit out of people talking shit to me, you know, or saying stuff I don't like. Like, how am I supposed to not block somebody that's perping and harassing the shit out of me? You think I'm not supposed to block perps who say shit to me? So it has nothing to do with, oh, Candy, just block anybody who. I'm not gonna sit there and let you. Sit there and let you be 8 years younger than me and lecture me for 4 hours. I didn't tolerate it off my own damn twin sister, and she only 13 minutes younger than me. So yeah, that's not just a small little thing. If you're lecturing me, obviously you're mad at me, right? If you raise your voice yelling, obviously you're mad. So if you're mad at me, yelling at me and lecturing me, and like what, a whole bunch of hostility, how you expect me to be friends with you the next day? So yeah, it's like I remember when he would tell me that he does not drive. And so I remember I saw a tweet on Twitter that he said that he drove his mom's car, his mom's Mercedes or something. And I'm like, well, if you don't drive, why would she ask you to go and move the car or drive the car or whatever? But, I was shaken up and upset that with my work money, I developed enough confidence that, even other people encouraged me to do, oh, great, now you're starting to get money coming in, now that, I'm talking about when I had the temp job in 2021, and they said, well, oh, now, now you can start working up for a car now. But he was like, why I was helping you take that money and get you a permanent place. And I confronted him about that. Like, yeah, you don't want me driving. You don't want me with a car. He's like, well, God doesn't want you driving. Because if he did, he would have been blessed you with a car. And a few other times he acted like he didn't want me to drive or didn't want me with the car, and used, it's like, if you pretend to think that you think I'm very intelligent and smart and wise, and that's the reason why he clung to me or started love bombing me and then trauma bonding me, because he made it like as if he thought that I was on the same level of him, a same level of truth as him, and that that I'm his best friend. Like, he extra loved me and was calling me his favorite and everything, and then like, oh, you speak so much truth, oh wow, and whatever. And then he turned out to be a fraud, a liar, and deceiver, and a fake friend. And then anytime I talked about the idea of driving or a car, he would either ignore me or ignore the shit out of me or get real mad. So then he did a fake video talking about beware of those who are jealous of you and want to be you. Now, like, motherfucker, what make you think I ever wanted to be you? You're the one who pretended to fake flatter me and butter me up like Trisha did and Miss Samantha and all them. It's like, all you motherfuckers are jealous. And with Darius talking about not wanting me with the car or whatever, I'm like, why would you, how come you don't want me with the car? He's like, oh, no. I'm just saying, because I know what happened if I get a car. He tried to say that, if he get a car, that they will sacrifice him in a car accident. But they tried that with all of us. They even tried it with me before I even realized I was targeted. But, I'm tired of being dependent on others for fucking transportation. I'd rather do my own damn driving. But, they would But then again, I mean, some people make it like, well, if you're targeted and you try to get a car, you know, they'd be like, well, having a car, period, is a headache. So imagine how much worse it would be if you were targeted and having a car. But I mean, they try to destroy our houses, cars, places to live, cars, food, anything that belongs to us. They just destroy it. But yeah, I mean, if you a fake friend that didn't want me with the car, tell me that's not control. Tell me that's not controlling and bossy. I mean, what does me having a car have to do with you? If you way in California and I was in Pensacola, Florida, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe all the lies that he told me as a fake friend, and I'm like, you're supposed to be targeted too. And you're supposed to be a Bible believer. So it seemed like after he did the final narcissistic fake discard with the fake friendship, and I know Perps ran to him and showed him my videos, and he sit there and defending and agreeing with the sex trafficking Perps. He sit there and you know, if after the final discard, it seemed like as if he linked up with Miss Samantha on purpose as a slap in the face. After he kept on saying that, he was avoiding her and that he didn't trust her and thought she was a perp and everything. And he cried and complained to me that she laughed in his face or that she said something smart ass and insensitive, that she said something smart ass and insensitive when he got hit by a car. And so and so I mean, he even told me that I was the only one there for him when he got hit by a car. So excuse me. So it's like, yeah, I'm just very at a loss for words and shocked and confused that he manipulated the friendship to appear to be too good to be true and too perfect. But they just had some weirdness that I questioned but couldn't put my finger on it. And then other people turn around and say he's a perp too. So it seemed like as if he wanted to rub it in my face, his allegiance to the fake Black Hebrew Israelites cult. And he lied to me and said that he wasn't affiliated with that cult. And so now he's linking up as a way, slapping the face into, thinking that he can do stuff on purpose to make me mad and get underneath my skin. But he manipulated me into thinking that he was more mature than that. And I didn't realize that he can get perp-like and petty like that. And then he even started publishing ebooks after the fake friendship. He started publishing ebooks as a way to just rub it in my face. And saying that, oh, I can't even get a dishwashing job and stuff like that. And so then he, started advertising, publishing ebooks and stuff. But as I say, he never really showed me any of his writings, but I showed him a lot of my writings. And, I mean, it was a different, with him, it was like a one-way fake friendship that he manipulated to believe that we were on the same page or like as if everything was mutual and equal. But he did a whole bunch of, behind the scenes, dirty undercover shit behind my back and behind closed doors. And it's like, he didn't practice what he preached. He's run around here, a fake Black Hebrew Israelites cult member. And they all despise, like the fake IDMR cult, they all despise Christians and have hostility towards Christians. But I did not realize that while he's fake flattering me and buttering me up, I did not realize that was a fake that he had a secret fake hatred the whole time. And it's like, why the hell did you approach me then? Or why did you want to, you know, come into my life if you felt a certain way about me? So, I mean, ever since somebody had told me that he was a perp and a few other people, then I guess I start to kind of heal a little bit. But that really took me out, that he had the fake picture posing himself as a black Jesus Christ. Now I'm officially done. So and then when I was at Trisha's house, like last year, even though he's homo, but you cannot control your dreams. Well, I can't control my dreams because I damn sure wouldn't want any dreams based on the dreams that I described. I mean, if I would have, if I could control my dreams, then if I can control my dreams, then my dreams will always be about fulfilling what I wish I could in life. But you can't control your dreams. But I really think that was dream manipulation. That people said that in real life that Trisha was performing heavy witchcraft on me, and that she was and he even said too that she was performing heavy witchcraft and trying to have me sacrifice. And a few other people were saying that, be safe, and they were saying that they were scared for me, what happened with Trisha. So then and I had a nightmare, like when I had a nightmare that John from the Kraft family got stabbed in the head and then murdered right in Trisha's driveway. And I think it was a different night that I had a nightmare, because I was mostly sleep deprived at her house, like for 3 nights, and then maybe 1 or 2 nights I finally got sleep. But they sleep deprived me severely. So in another nightmare, I had a bad dream that that Darius took my suitcase. I had a suitcase, and he offered to take my suitcase, and then he aggressively dragged me upstairs and covered my mouth and attempted to rape me. But I hurry up and escape out of the room before he can pin me down and start doing stuff to me. And I don't remember if that was the same dream of John from the Kraft family being stabbed. And then when I woke up in real life, I noticed that Darius had called me on the phone at like 3-something in the morning to talk to me. And for that brief moment, I thought we were on good terms. And so I had to sneak and hide when Trisha was gone to talk to him on the phone and try to let him know what was going on. But I didn't even realize he was just as much of a deceiver as Trisha. But the reason why he got to me worse than Trisha was because he deceived me and tricked me for so long, and I sacrificed so much. I was forced to sacrifice so much just for him. He manipulated me to sacrifice it so much just for him. And then Trisha, I guess there wasn't a bond there. With Trisha, I was able to smell her shit from like the beginning. So even before I went down there, I kind of somewhat sensed something wasn't right, but Trisha kept on trying to convince me to believe that she's targeted, and she fucking lied. And so And so she had this fake video that she did that she got like, I don't, like over 15,000 views and 614 thumbs up. And it's like, damn, that's her second video. How she got, that quick. And she didn't even show her face in the video. And she likes to talk about narcissists and karma. But karma is new age. And Trisha is conformed to the world, but pretending to be Christian. And reading out of false Bibles and stuff, and throwing up the devil horn, talking about Jesus while throwing up the devil horns, and then, using black incense, burning black incense. Like, that seems voodoo-ish, to be burning black incense and all that. But as I said, Darius, I'm going to say it again. He mixes Black Hebrew Israelites cult beliefs and Pentecostal beliefs, intertwine them together, and then turn around and say, well, that he don't subscribe to either one of those. So, that nasty tell-off lecture. Because I don't understand, because it seemed like that day with the lecture over the phone, what he did was he had, when I asked him why he hung up in my face and quit talking to me for a long time, and then he just he made it like as if he was worried and scared, trying to say that they were trying to sacrifice his sister. And I'm like, well, if your sister's a perp, why are they trying to sacrifice her? If you say she's a perp. But that same sister, if they argue, fight, and don't get along, but then he'll say she's a perp, but then he'll say that they're trying to sacrifice her. And then he told me that he was drinking. But drunk or not, you still got those sentiments about me that he just went off and lectured. That time he lectured, that was the second, he lectured me for 2 hours. But Darius is the one, and the online perps treat me like I'm not allowed to expose anybody abusing me. And y'all call it throwing y'all under the bus. I'm not allowed to out or expose any abuse, past, present, or future, and I'm forbidden and not allowed to talk about my targeting or link up with others to talk about my targeting. Darius wanted me isolated. And for what? Like, why? So he tried to rub it in my face, and that he wanted to encourage everybody else to talk about their targeting and traumas, and that we need support groups. But when it comes to me, I don't have that right. And so after all the targeting videos that he saw of me, he still acted like he wanted to believe that, if he saw my twin sister perping me, he acted like he wanted to falsely believe that she's the target and that I'm the perp. And I'm like, yeah, Darius, you sold out. And he's smart enough to know about the hive mind. Right. Wow. Right when I said, Darius, you sold out, now they're twitching my left eye. So, if you drive but then tell me not to drive or not to have a car. But as I said, I find something really funny that you don't have problems with if I ask you questions about and you ask me certain questions about certain things too, so it's like, you can tell me about your gay sex life, but you can't tell me about your Bible journey or whatever, or when you started studying and reading the Bible, he acted like that made him uncomfortable. But I mean, we used to talk about all kinds of stuff, and I thought we were friends. He was the one who started. He covertly was the one who, started with the betrayal, and then made it like as if I was too slow and retarded to catch on. I don't know what made him change his opinion about me, because when he would do crooked and weird stuff and I would ask him about it, and he would gaslight and lie and say, "Oh, no, it's not you." Or he would be like, "Oh, don't think that it's you that I have a problem with. Oh, I just need some downtime sometime." And then come to find out, after a couple of years, he finally, you know, went off on me and lectured me and tell me everything bad about myself. When he pretended to fake sympathize with me talking about the traumas and targeting. And it's like, why would you use my trauma and targeting against me? And then he listened to my twin sister's lies in the perps and lied and said that I exploit my own traumas as a way to get over and take advantage of people and trying to seek self-pity and all that. And it's like, why would you even say that if you really target it? We truly are going through trauma. If you had to ask for help and claim you've been homeless before. So you know that this is not an easy road, so why would you beat me down even harder? And make me more traumatized and ruining my mental health? So Darius is the type that's dangerous enough that now I see what people mean when people say that him cutting me off was God protecting me, because I told Darius that his abuse of harsh words is damaging enough to make somebody go kill themselves. That narcissistic abuse, he knows how to use words to tear you down and murder you. And a real targeted individual ain't supposed to be like that. And then he think he got the authority to talk about not all targeted individuals are chosen. And as I said, he lied on me and said that I'm a narcissistic woman with a Black Widow complex, and that I'm the one who's a perp that's gathering intel on him. When he exploited me during one of my most traumatic, during a very traumatic and upsetting moment, that he swooped in my life and pretended to be a fake savior or a fake hero. I didn't ask Darius to come in my life. I didn't ask Miss Samantha, Monique, or Trisha, or none of them to come into my life. And Darius tried to make like, and I was on the phone with you for hours, like as if I didn't deserve it. Like, I mean, you're the one who approached me and started love bombing and buttering me up. And, it wasn't right away, but it was after some time when, it was after some time after he got hit by a car, and he made it like he didn't know the Pentecostal narcs, they falsely accuse everybody of doing witchcraft on them. And then come to find out is their ass is doing witchcraft. I mean, I don't know, if you're a targeted man, why would you want a targeted woman punished on the streets with no food and starving? And then you'll say that comes from the Most High. Why would you want a homeless targeted female out there on the streets being terrorized and sex trafficked, and then y'all falsely accuse me of faking? Because the perps, including my twin sister, falsely accused me of faking being targeted just for attention and money, when I got real evidence. And my twin sister has bewitched the whole targeted individual community and lied. But I don't even know if Darius told her to stop doing videos. Well, I'm glad she did stop doing videos about me. But I don't know if Darius was the one who told her to stop doing videos about me, or if she quit doing videos because of that, because she had a falling out with the what's her name, Tamika Evans. But then I saw Tamika Evans. She narcissistically she's like, Candy, unblock me right now. So I unblocked her, and then next thing you know, she never commented. And then next thing you know, some months later, I saw she was back to making perp comments about me again. So I thought that Tamika Evans, I thought she was one of the main people who saw my twin sister for who she was and broke the spell, and came up from the spell that my twin sister had. And excuse me. So it's like a couple of times after a while, Tamika started to defend me. But then she went back to perping me. To, on YouTube. So I didn't even know who Tamika Evans was, and I didn't even, because, I didn't even remember. I just remember somebody donated me something for Hurricane Sally, but I didn't realize it was her. And so, my twin sister tried to make like, oh, well, Candy had, she blocked somebody that donated to her. No, that's not how it happened. So I didn't even realize that Tamika had donated me $50, and I don't even know how they know each other. And then sometime down the line, I saw Tamika make a comment under my twin sister's videos about me. All she does is complain and beg. And so I blocked her for saying that. And that's when Tamika would try to come on whatever channel she could and try to harass, like cyber harass me. She was one of my twin sister's top cheerleaders, flying monkeys, cult followers, or whatever. And Darius and Miss Samantha and Monique and Michaela and a few others have joined the cult too. And Anthony, narc ass phony, and Tony H and all them. So but I'm thinking about doing a video talking about how why is it that professed targeted individuals, when you have a falling out or argument with them, they do perp tactics for revenge punishment on you, and then when you go and say that they're a perp, then they'll be like, oh, she's slandering me. Well, why are you doing perp tactics and repeating the slander campaigns? A true targeted individual would not be running around calling other TIs schizophrenic and saying that they need to be medicated, or that they need to be mentally stabilized in the hospital. But y'all sit there and side with the enemy for the temporary time that you call yourself being mad at me. So that's why I would be saying y'all fake TI perps playing both sides. And I did not realize that Darius was a perp playing both sides too. But so why the hell y'all perping me and doing perp shit as a punishment, as a way to punish me? But then y'all sit there talking about, oh, you're not gonna use me as a meal ticket, or y'all perping and making money off of me and whatever. Well, why would you, for money or not, why would you perp another TI because you're mad at them for exposing your narcissistic abuse towards them? You sit there and try to dictate who I can talk to. Yeah, you a narcissistic control freak, fake friend. Trying to control how I spend my work money, trying to make me take down my social media and stay away from everybody. And then and so that they won't look stupid because you outed the truth about them, they'll try to lie and say that you took what they said out of context, while they'll do stuff like deliberately take what you said out of context on purpose to make false and make you out to look crazier. But Darius left the fake friendship in the dark for a long time and manipulated me into thinking a certain way while he had dirty intentions the whole time. And what kind of real friend will secretly unsubscribe from you on YouTube and then give you hints but not blatantly tell me that your videos are annoying? It was about a week and a half after a week or a week and a half after he got hit by a car. That's when he started changing, telling me that he thought my videos were too long. But before then, he used to go and, be willing to take that time out for, and I didn't realize he was secretly watching my twin sister the whole time while telling me don't go back and look at your twin sister's videos, and then get mad if he thought I did. And then he told me go look back at your twin sister's videos, but then he would come and show me, well, look what your twin sister said about you. I'm like, well, ain't you a hypocrite? And then he tried to push me, be coercive and pushy to get me to reconcile. And then he's like, well, if she is perping you. I'm like, what you mean if she is? Like as if you suspect or don't know what to believe when it's right in front of your fucking face. So everything Darius is just a fake actress. Yeah, I'm gonna say actress because you ain't no real man. You call everybody else a freakazoid tranny. Hell, he calls Asian people fortune cookie. So I mean, he acted like as if he stopped wanting to hear my complaints about being targeted, but I gotta hear him complaining about. He tried to say Miss Deborah was a perp trying to sacrifice him. He tried to say that she was a perp and a witch try to sacrifice him, and that she was trying to manipulate and set him up and all that. Well, I mean, so, but he didn't tell her off. He didn't go off on her. He didn't block her number. And it's like anybody else who he said was a perp, it's like he would kiss their asses. Like, what the hell? Like, and I never intentionally or willfully did him any perp stuff. But if he suspected that, oh, what Candy did, this triggered me. Why are you allowed to be triggered and you a dude? Why are you allowed to be triggered but I'm not? I mean, if you felt like I was triggering you, well, I didn't know that triggered you. But for me to say, well, this triggered me, or when you said this, that triggered me. Oh, you're very demanding with how you want to be treated. Or, oh, other people be like, oh, well, I got to walk on eggshells for you. Because I don't like being talked to and treated like a punished child with no rights. And then you way younger than me. Like Anthony, narc ass phony, would do stuff like, be careful with what you say, or, oh, be careful who you catch rides with, or I'm like, I'm not a freaking baby for you to be talking to me like this. Or if he'll donate me like a Dunkin' Donuts coupon and say, make sure you use it. or Tony Huggins, she'll be like, when I when I said that when I said that I you know I when I told her, I was about to get the stimulus check, and she's like, "Well, make sure you spend it wisely." I'm like, I was in my like, and if you only in your early 20s, don't be talking to me like I don't know no better. That was not even necessary for you to even say that. And for me to say, well, that's triggering because you're talking down to me like I'm a child who doesn't have common sense, or you treat me like I don't know any better. And then they be like, "Oh, people can't tell you nothing." No, I got to walk on eggshells for you. Well, I'm pretty sure that somebody would tell you something that if it triggered you, you probably would tell them. So yeah, I'm starting to suspect that Darius, if he's, I really think that Darius is a closet Freemason using projection. I don't even, he knows that I don't have any connections with the government or the fusion centers or none of that. So it's like he's falsely accusing me of, I heard that the Black Widow thing, and, gathering intel and stuff like that. I think he approached me to try to gather intel on me, because why would you use my traumas against me? And then everything that you falsely accused me of doing, you were doing to me. And defending and agreeing with the sex trafficking perps. Like when I was telling you the threats they were making at me, you blew me off and didn't want to hear it. I should have cut you off then. But Darius is a megalomaniac, and he's manipulative and convincing and charming with his words enough that he has the power to be his own damn cult leader. And everybody will fucking follow, because he already got a few fake Twitter cult leaders, like Christopher Moss Mosley and stuff. Kiss his ass and defend and agree with everything he said. But Christopher, I blocked Christopher because certain things he would tell me, he would always, like, if I say something, then he would, tweet a smart ass rude response. And Christopher acted like a narc, and then people jumped on him and said that that Christopher was a freaking people say that Christopher was that he's like misogynistic, like he always act like he hate women, and he made it like he was being defensive one time in a tweet on Twitter, So, yeah, that was one of his biggest, and then, he's like one of Darius's biggest cult followers or cheerleaders. And then if Darius was sneaking behind my back and sneaking, he was telling me that he thought Jamal Watkins was a perp. Well, Jamal did some perp shit to me too. Well, if you think Jamal is a perp, why you allow him into your... Darius secretly blocked me and manipulated me into thinking that I was welcome in his Twitter spaces where we supposedly discuss art and talents and writing and everything, and talk about the targeting program and our traumas with the targeting. And so Darius said we need it. Well, why does everybody else need it, but I deserve to suffer in silence? So Darius allowed Jamal to be in there, in that Twitter space, more than once, I think. And so he allowed Jamal Watkins to be in there. But it's like, okay, well, if you telling me that Jamal is a perp and y'all still following each other and still communicating with each other. And then there was another one, something United something. He was trying to say that all these people you say that they're perps, but you sitting there following them, or y'all both following each other on Twitter. But it seemed like as if Darius treated me like a damn trash can. Dumped all his anger, just whatever he was going through, he just took it out on me. And dumped all his anger or whatever and his frustration, dumped everything on me. Like in May 2021, he threatened to stab his twin brother. But he sit there and like he was mad, and that was one of the reasons why he lectured me and for 4 hours, because I was crying out for help. Well, anybody, anybody on Twitter, I was crying out for help and emotional support about being bullied by 144 Calico Michaela on YouTube and a few other perps. So Darius falsely assumed, well, I thought all those tweets were about me. Why would you think it's all about you when I said all y'all asses is fake? And I wasn't even talking about him. But he will lie to me and say, "Oh, you're the only one you're the only one I'm on speaking terms with," or he made it like as if he thought I was the only loyal friend. Even after he started, I noticed some weirdness with him. Like even before in May, like late April and early May 2021, he made it like as if I'm the only one who cared about him. But then now he can rub it in my face, made it like he don't like humanity, and made it like as if he can't stand people, and that I was the only one he was rocking and rolling with. But when I got frustrated, like all these people in the so-called TI community, I was suffering depression and like, crying out for emotional support and for help. And then next thing you know, he tried to say, well, I thought all those tweets were about me. I'm like, I don't know what made you think that. Because come to find out, he was secretly saying shit behind my back. Like, he gave me hints that he was bad-mouthing me to Miss Deborah and making her think a certain way. I didn't even know that he was secretly slandering me behind my back and telling Miss Deborah that he thought I was a scammer and all that. But he tried to make it like she didn't want to be bothered with me because she thought, like, he tried to tell me that she thought that I was a scammer and all that. But if you really thought I was a scammer, then why you trying to manipulate me to come over by you? She was trying to be, that was the only time she ever left a comment on my page. And, she was coercive and manipulative and made a comment that pissed me off bad enough that I blocked her. So it seemed like she just recently started showing so-called footage of so-called targeting. You had all these years and this lady ain't never, showed footage of herself being targeted. But it's like, I don't understand, because I'm sitting here trying to do the right thing. I'm not connected with any fusion centers, or I only know what tactics happen to me. And it's like, if all these people have me huddled together and have me blocked and unfollowed, I don't understand how or why, if I'm blocked or unfollowed, how can I learn more about the targeting program? I can't even go into the conference calls because I know that they will block me and exclude me as a way of like workplace mobbing. And so that's what Darius did. He sat there and let perps in his Twitter spaces or whatever, but he covertly blocked me and manipulated me to think, oh, well, My icon didn't show. My icon was the only icon that didn't show up. Period. But I don't know. I still don't understand why does Darius have the biggest and strongest so-called beef and hate with me, and I never perked him, and I never did anything. If he might have been just falsely assuming, but because he was doing shit to me. If he knows what it's like to be falsely accused of being a pedophile, then why would he believe the same lies about me? I mean, I'm sitting here just like at a loss for words and just don't understand. So I mean, I'm somewhat healing a little bit from what he did to me, but it's like I gotta let my emotions out. Whether y'all want to hear it or not, I'm freaking letting my emotions out. Now you want me to be bold and strong and not be scared. I'm gonna be bold and strong and not be scared to talk about your manipulation and abuse and the games that you played. So I mean, how you falsely accuse me of being a perp and gathering intel? Name one time I ever linked up with anybody who perps you. Never. So it's like, and I don't even know if Darius was frustrated with me not knowing of me being on the autism spectrum. Cause he talked like likes to try to talk and act like as if he's all knowing. So he tried to use the same abusive narcissistic perp tactics as the regular perps. He, as I say, he was telling me that this person's a perp, that person's a perp. But he tell me not to speak to those people? No. But I heard he's going around telling everybody, don't talk to Candy. Like Darius wanted to make like was trying to have a low profile in the so-called TI community, or that he didn't subscribe to the TI community. Well, ever since you discarded me, now all of a sudden you're popular and well liked, and you rubbing it in my face about how that you can mingle with everybody. And then he trying to make like as if he's on to higher and bigger things while he's sitting there doing petty shit. So I mean, I don't know. It's like I just it's like, how you gonna be like a homosexual megalomaniac fake TI perp? But I mean, I don't know why the perps implanted for him to be in my dream. So, I have a right to have my feelings validated from anybody's abuse. I have a right to seek and get closure and justice from anybody's abuse. I have a right to talk out my abuse from anybody. So now people do like another Lanika with him from the Kraft family. So I'm forbidden to bring up or talk about Lanika. He was the only one who pretended to be a fake savior and manipulate me into thinking that I can talk about my hurt behind her and the Masonic Kraft family, only to use that against me. and make me out to look so crazy and stupid. And so now I'm forbidden to and not allowed to talk about Darius, and I have the same sentiments and emotions about him the way I felt about her. I mean, he gave me false hopes of closure, and he manipulated and played all kinds of fucking mind games. And very abusive and controlling. And I'm sitting here having round the clock unwanted intrusive thoughts about him. So, I mean, after a while, he started to try to control what subjects I should be allowed to talk about. Just copying up like what my twin sister would do. He started to become like my twin sister. So, you know, and a few other people were telling me that he's controlling as well, and that he's very controlling, and that he has a God complex. So, but anyway, this morning I woke up to a fake Black Hebrew Israelites cult member, saying something that kind of irritated or made me mad. And then there was another person who made a weird comment saying something about perp the ROTC or something like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, are you targeted or are you a perp? Like, why? I'm like, why that weird comment? So, I'm not allowed to have feelings or be hurt or upset at stuff people did or said to me. I'm not allowed to name names and out abusers, but they can smear and lie all day. On TikTok yesterday, somebody had messaged me and asked me, "Are you alive?" Like, it's like she requested to add me or follow me, and then I followed her back, and then she said, "Well, are you alive?" And I'm like, what the hell kind of question is this? So I'm like, "Hi, yes." I was very confused. And so then she said, well, she mentioned something that, she said something about, she said that, well, tell me one thing that only real TIs know. And so I sent her a picture, and I said, well, that's all the proof that you need right there that I'm a real TI. And so then she said, well, I've seen a lot of your videos about targeting or whatever. And so then she mentioned that she's from New Zealand. And so then, but anyway, somebody named Miss CJ got hateful and unfollowed me on Twitter. It doesn't look like she's from the so-called TI community, but I guess she got hateful and unfollowed me because she's a Trump worshiper. And so I retweeted an anti-Trump tweet from somebody, and she must have got offended. And it's like, I don't know how on this account and a previous account, I do not know how they have so many MAGA people, MAGA and Trump worshipers, but they tell a lot of truth about government conspiracies. But I'm neither never been either Democrat or Republican. I'm just trying to get nuggets of truth here and there or whatever, but I'm part of no political party. If you tell the truth about, the Ohio train derailment, I'll retweet that if it's informative for me. But I'm like, well, a lot of times I didn't even realize that you were a Trump supporter. So, but a lot of people warn that Trump is playing both sides. That Trump is a puppet. Like they're saying that Trump is control opposition, like Alex Jones. And so I thought that, and I never really had like zero interest in anything politics. But once I started researching the truth and the New World Order and everything, I mean, I got into a little bit of politics, but I usually not interested in political stuff, but anything relate to the truth about, being against the Illuminati and New World Order, that's, very important, So I learned from the beginning of my research that the elite fund both sides, and that Democrat and Republican are just divide and conquer, and so that there's the real shadow government behind closed doors. And they say that Bill Gates is not the rich, or Bill Gates, Elon Musk, or whoever else. Is his name Elon or Elon Musk? That, and Jack from Twitter and whoever else is super rich, that they are not truly the richest, and that the shadow government is richer than anybody else. So I heard about the Swiss bank, the central bank in Switzerland that holds the real gold and silver, and we're sitting here fighting over fiat currency, fake money, and we're living and enslaving our lives away behind fake money. That the paper dollar and all that, and the digital currency, it's all fake. But the real silver and gold, how the hell are humans competing with demons? Demons running the world. Satan is the big runner of the world. And in the Bible, it says, Jesus Christ said, my kingdom is not of this world. So, so I'm glad. Y'all gonna get mad or offended anyway, but I'm still been losing subscribers and losing Twitter followers too. Everybody on Twitter been unfollowing me left and right, or blocking me left and right, and everybody on YouTube been unfollowing and probably blocking me left and right. And it's like I don't even know who's unsubscribing me from me on YouTube. But I guess that's their way of trying to control your platform, trying to control what you say. Like they think they got the authority to deny your freedom of speech because they don't like what you say. But one video, how come it's okay for one video that upset you or offended you, you unsubscribe altogether and then block me? So why don't I have a right to block somebody based on an offensive comment, or multiple comments that sound like you're trolling, or if you sound very controlling and bossy, trying to boss me around on my own channel? But it seemed like as if my TikTok followers were stagnant for a long time, and now it seems like as if lately, for the past few days on TikTok, I've been gaining a few more followers. But some videos I get no views, or 1 or 2 views, and that's from that fake wannabe Darnell Williams perp. But I'm gonna say this: before me and Darius had the big falling out, he offered to collaborate on a writing project with me. I guess that would never happen, but he deceived me. I didn't realize he was part of the fake Black Hebrew Israelites cult. So you're a cult member. You're a cult member, and you're your own cult leader of your own cult. I hate cults with a passion. I passionately hate cults. So I don't know. Yeah, Darius secretly separated from me and then started to try to make like everything I do or say gets on his nerve. I didn't even realize he secretly had an issue with me. But when I confronted him about it, he'll lie and say, "Oh, it's not you. I'm just have my moments where I need my down. I know I have downtime, or just shut down and don't want to talk to anybody." But kind of found out he secretly did have an issue with me. Now, who's scared of who? And he yelled at me and lectured me about being all scared, but he was scared to tell me the truth all this time, and led me on a wild goose chase. And even if I suspected that he didn't like me, then I would have a lot of heavy, unwanted, intrusive thoughts. But I mean, you do not have the authority or the right or the power to inflict punishment on anybody. You still living with your fucking mama. 31 years old, still living with your damn mama. I at least had my own place for a long time, but due to this targeting, that's why I'm forced to be homeless. And don't act like you never had to ask nobody for nothing. So I mean, I lived many years struggling and poor, but independent and making it on my just barely, keeping a roof over my head, and but the targeting got worse once I found out the truth. Once I really, 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 really woke up. That's when I would have back then. I would have never had a chronic homeless situation, and then being on the streets in unfamiliar area. This didn't happen until after I became knowledgeable and awakened about myself being targeted. And back in 2012, when I had a Twitter, a lot of people they said that being targeted, if you're a targeted individual, then when it comes to New World Order, then we're on this targeted kill list. If you know the truth and you're a truther, and they got some people put on this list and they don't even know why. The terrorist watch list. So I heard about the stickers on the mailbox that read if you're is that there's a red sticker and you're targeted to be killed, or if you're yellow, you're less of a threat, or if you're blue, you're less of a threat, or whatever. And then if they'll put you in a FEMA camp to be indoctrinated and re-educated and stuff. But so when a New World Order come and it's all hell and mayhem, and I heard about the Russian and Chinese troops come knocking on our door at 3:00 in the morning and dragging us out of our houses and everything, or Project Bluebeam, And I heard that's the real tribulation right there, you know. So so yeah, I forgot about that. The New World Order FEMA camp classifications that people like me, why I'm targeted if I'm privy, you know, to the truth, then I don't know all the truth. I don't know everything, but if if we're on the list to be killed for the New World Order, killed off for the New World Order, but other people, you know, if they're willing to go along, be a brainwash and go along with the program, then they'll be just have more brainwashing and more indoctrination, but they get to stay alive. But we got to get killed, but we're better off being killed because truth is, you know, if our sins are repented of, we can go to heaven. But if we believe in Jesus Christ, and I know that I feel bad because I, you know, been weak in the flesh, you know, but some people say that you can spiritually strengthen by lining up with other Christians. But some people say you got to go through this battle alone because it's a lot of fake Christians, you know. But because you slip up and sin doesn't necessarily mean that you're fake. But if you straight up evil and pretending to be Christian, like if you like part of the satanic network, and fronting like a Christian and then pretending to be holier than thou as a cover up for all your dirty deeds, and you haven't stopped doing, you know, willfully and intentionally doing, like, you know, sacrificing kids and stuff, and trafficking people, or gang stalking people, or practicing witchcraft on people, or, you know, ruining people's lives, you know. But you're telling everybody else to repent, but you a damn Freemason. You don't even want to get out of Freemasonry, but you're telling everybody else to repent. So I'm gonna go for now. I'll see y'all later.